was on the covers of Bravo magazine 3 times in the same month, including Black Radio exclusive Black Beat, Best, Blues and Soul, Hello, Number 1, Popcorn, Ride On, Star, The Sun, Super Pop, Top 50, Weekend, and Woman's Own magazines. July 1st. The first ever issue of Off the Wall magazine is published by Adrian Grant, who names the fanzine after his favorite Michael Jackson album. Only 200 copies of the first issue is printed, but it isn't long before readership grows around the world, not only being read by MJ fans, but also by the man himself. Michael entertains a crowd of 50,000 at the Volkspark Stadium in Hamburg, West Germany, where opera legend Placido Domingo is in attendance. Within 10 minutes of the bad concert tickets going on sale for the Milton Keynes Bowl stop in England on September 10th, the city's telephone network is jammed with calls from fans wanting to purchase tickets. Marcel Evram, the managing director of Mama Concerts, the promotion company handling Michael's European tour, discloses that Michael is making over $3,425 per minute for his performances across Europe. He has secured a deal valued at $20 million, from which he retains 90% of the earnings from all concert ventures. After compensating his entourage of 140 members, he is left with approximately $400,000 in profit for each show. July 2nd, Michael visits Phantasialand in Brohl, Germany, accompanied by Jimmy Safechuck and the famous magicians, Siegfried and Roy. He becomes enchanted by a 19th century carousel at the park, and it is reported that he proposes a substantial profit to the park owners, Richard Schmidt and Gottlieb Lafelhart, on the £160,000 they already invested in the Italian-built attraction. Michael wanted it transferred to his property on Neverland Ranch. In Cologne, Michael also acquires 2 realistic dolls named Casimir and Friedrich for a total of £650. Dirty Diana reaches the top spot at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, making Michael Jackson the first artist to achieve 5 or more top 10 hits from 2 consecutive albums. Thriller boasted 7 top 10 hits, and Dirty Diana stands as the 5th top 10 hit from the Bad album. It stayed on the charts for an impressive 14 weeks. Contrary to what many believe, Dirty Diana was not a diss track directed at Diana Ross due to her marriage to Arne Nass Jr. in 1985. In reality, she frequently included it as an opening act in her concerts. Furthermore, the song was not about Diana, Princess of Wales, either. Michael received a personal note from the princess, indicating that it was one of her favorite songs by him. July 3rd. Before his Bad concert, Michael meets with Siegfried and Roy to discuss their Illusion act in Cologne, West Germany. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 70,000 at the Mungersdorfer Stadium in Cologne. July 8th. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 72,000 at a sellout concert at the Munich Olympialk Stadium of Munich, West Germany. July 10th. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 80,000 at another sellout concert at the Hockenheimring Baden-Württemberg in Hockenheim, West Germany. July 11th. Another Part of Me, launched as the 6th single from the album Bad, was released by Epic Records. Originally completed in 1985 to make the cut on the Disney 3D film Captain EO in 1986, the Another Part of Me track almost didn't make it on the Bad LP because it was pitted against another song called Streetwalker. Michael wanted Streetwalker on the album, while Quincy wanted Another Part of Me to make the cut instead. Manager Frank DiLeo would be the deciding factor to break the tie vote. Another Part of Me was ultimately chosen.
Funny now, because Michael wanted to do Streetwalker in the album, and I was in the studio that day, and he sent DiLeo over there and said, Michael wants us to try to decide now whether we're going to be Streetwalker or Another Part of Me. And DiLeo had the long cigars. He loved to have those long cigars, and so he's sitting in the chair. And Michael liked Streetwalker, and I wanted to do Another Part of Me. He wrote both of them, so it didn't make a difference to him. But it was just interesting, just another part of me, the feeling of it, So this was the shootout to figure out which one. We're going to listen to them, three of us objectively, and listen to decide which one is going to get picked. And so he was sitting down when Streetwalker was on, and when Another Part came up, he got up with his little fat ass. You're not helping Michael at all. What do you call him? Rubber? Well, whatever you call him. Michael had a funny name for him. What are you doing, man? He just blew my whole case in. So hilarious. But that was a choice instead of Another Part of Me. And so DiLeo helped me get brought me because he started shaking his butt on it.
Michael touches down at the London's Heathrow Airport, arriving an hour late on a Lufthansa flight from Frankfurt. He is welcomed by a rooftop filled with thousands of fans, eager to catch a glimpse of the superstar. As he makes his way to check into the Mayfair Hotel, all transportation in London comes to a standstill. Michael occupies a suite on the 7th floor, accompanied by his team of 125 roadies, which includes a personal entourage of 20 individuals. His doctor, dentist, throat specialist, manicurist, chiropodist, masseur, hairdresser, 2 secretaries, his chef, and 7 bodyguards. There would have been 121 roadies, but his pet chimp, Bubbles, was unable to enter the country due to Britain's strict anti-rabies law, forcing any animal to be quarantined for 6 months. July 12th. Michael visits Hanley's toy store in Regent Street. July 13th. Michael takes time to visit ill children at the Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, while his fans camp out overnight at Wembley to secure front-row tickets for the opening concert. July 14th to 16th and 22nd to 23rd. Michael is expected to spend the next 2 weeks in London to hold down a total of 5 concerts at Wembley Stadium. On opening night, at 8:20 p.m. on a damp but otherwise unremarkable night, Michael ignites Wembley Stadium with a spectacular performance, greeted by a roaring crowd of 72,000 fans at the venue's first sellout concert. Opening for Michael on his European tour is MCA recording artist Kim Wilde. The star-studded audience on opening night includes notable figures such as Jack Nicholson, Terence Trent D'Arby, Dead or Alive, Billy Connolly, Adam Faith, Russ Abbott, Jane Seymour, John Peel, Valerie Singleton, Shirley Bassey, Harrison Ford, Frank Bruno, and George Lucas. July 16th. Prince Charles and Princess Diana attend the 3rd Wembley concert of the Bad Tour, where Michael Jackson meets the royal couple backstage before the performance. He gifts them specially made tour jackets for Prince Harry and Prince William, along with a special collection of his recordings. Additionally, Michael presents a $166,000 check for the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital and another $450,000 check to the Prince's Trust to promote employment of young people in inner cities. And another $450,000 check to the Prince's Trust to promote employment of young people in inner cities. Michael originally didn't perform Dirty Diana because he didn't want to offend the royal family at the start of his Wembley tour. But when Princess Diana told Michael that Dirty Diana was her favorite song, he later re-added Dirty Diana back to his normal set list. Dirty Diana enters the top 100 singles chart in Britain, peaking at number 4, and remains on the charts for 8 weeks. Fat by Weird Al Yankovic, a playful parody of Michael Jackson's Bad, makes its way into the top 100 singles chart in Britain, reaching a peak position of number 80 and staying on the charts for 4 weeks. July 18th. During their time in London, Michael, Jimmy Safechuck, and his parents hung out. They take a trip to Elstree Studios, where Michael's friend Steven Spielberg is directing his newest film, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Additionally, they have the opportunity to meet Harrison Ford and Allison Doody on the set. July 20th. Michael makes another visit to the Great Ormond Street Hospital, where he meets numerous terminally ill children from across Britain, including a 9-year-old boy with a brain tumor and a 4-year-old girl who had undergone throat surgery. In one of the less critical wards, he dedicates time to reading stories to the children. By evening, a banquet is held in Michael's honor at the historic town centre, Guildhall, in London, to celebrate the British leg of the tour. Michael Jackson was treated like royalty, literally. By granted permission from Queen Elizabeth II, Michael was the first person not of royalty or aristocracy to be allowed permission through the royal entrance heralded by trumpeters of the Life Guards Cavalry. Dancers in old English costumes scattered rose petals at Michael's feet as he was escorted to the head of the table in the Great Hall. July 22nd. Disney's Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck surprise Michael with a pair of specially engraved ice skates backstage just before his 4th concert at Wembley Stadium. July 26th. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 55,000 at the Cardiff Arms Park in Cardiff, Wales, where he is dubbed the Earl of Whirl by the crowd. Another Part of Me enters the Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard Hot Black Singles charts, reaching peak positions of number 11 and number 1, respectively, and staying on the Hot 100 for 13 weeks. By peaking number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, this would be Michael's first single not to reach number 1, unlike the first 5 singles off the Bad album. And like I mentioned earlier, Michael initially didn't want Another Part of Me to make the final cut on the album, but rather the song Streetwalker. In any case, by reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot Black Singles chart, Michael ties a new record with 5 number 1s off the same album, joining none other than his little sister Janet, who also has 5 number 1s on the Hot Black Singles chart from her album Control. Another Part of Me marks Michael's 9th number 1 hit on the Black Singles chart during his solo career, solidifying his status as the artist with the highest number of number 1 hits in history on the Billboard Hot Black Singles chart. July 27th. Michael took an opportunity for photo ops with the San Francisco 49ers, an NFL football team visiting London for the American Bowl exhibition game against the Dolphins. While they were in town, several players managed to catch Michael Jackson's performance at Cardiff Arms Park in Wales. July 30th. Michael Jackson and the Jackson 518 Greatest Hits re-enters the top 100 albums chart in Britain, peaking at number 85, and remains on the charts for 3 weeks. Bad Souvenir Singles Pack, a special collection of 6 square picture discs released to commemorate the Bad World Tour, enters the top 100 albums chart in Britain, peaking at number 91, and remains on the charts for 1 week. NBC broadcasted a special edition of Friday Night Videos called Michael Jackson Around the World, a 90-minute special hosted by Felicia and Ahmad Rashad, showcased concert footage from the Bad World Tour. The special also features the premiere of the official video, Another Part of Me. It achieves the highest ratings in America for its 11:30 p.m. time slot, attracting 27% of the television audience. The video was shot in May to July of 1988, with footage taken from his concerts in Paris and London. July 30th to 31st. Despite dealing with an ankle injury he sustained during his concert at Cardiff Arms Park, Michael performed for a combined audience of 130,000 over the 2 nights at the Parc y Cleve in Cork, Ireland. The revenue generated from ticket sales for these 2 concerts helped finance the acquisition of the Christy Ring Stadium by the Cork County Board in 1989. August. Michael is on the covers of song hits Black Beat, Chet, Ketpiva, Liverpool Echo, Look In, Sunday, Hot Press, and 4 covers of Bravo magazine. Frank DiLeo held a press conference to announce that the Bad World Tour would be Michael Jackson's last. August 3rd. Michael Jackson has arrived at the Los Monteros Hotel in Marbella, Spain, to get ready for his first ever Spanish concert as part of his Bad World Tour. He is accompanied by a growing entourage of approximately 150 individuals, including chefs, tailors, hairdressers, and a medical team. To accommodate his needs, a dance floor has been specially installed in his hotel suite for this visit. August 4th. People magazine airs a TV special on CBS featuring the Jacksons. Joe Jackson denies Michael's claim of child abuse he expressed in the book, Moonwalk, describing the beatings as little spankings. In an interview, Marlon agrees with Michael, saying they were hit, and often. August 5th. Michael performs at the Marbella Municipal Stadium in Marbella, Spain, to a sellout audience of 28,000. It's his first concert in Spain. Taylor Dayne has been selected to be Michael's opener for the remainder of his August concerts, up until his returning tour dates in England. Whilst in Spain, Michael rented the entire Incasol medical spa estate at a cost of £50,000 per week for himself and his entire entourage. Renowned for its extensive spa facilities and comprehensive health programs, offered a combination of medical treatments, beauty therapies, and wellness activities. August 7th. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 60,000 at a concert at the Vicente Calderón Stadium in Madrid, Spain. Michael is presented with a quadruple platinum award for Bad before his concert. August 9th. Michael performs in concert to 95,000 at the Camp Nou in Barcelona, Spain. August 12th. Michael performs to another sellout crowd of 35,000 at the Stade Richter in Montpellier, France. August 13th. During a day off in between concerts in France, Michael takes a trip over to Monte Carlo, Monaco, to visit his friend, Sammy Davis Jr. He takes the opportunity to come on stage at the Sail des Etoiles Sporting Club, where Sammy is hosting a concert.
Think I can do Michael Jackson? Ha, 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 ha.
August 14th. Michael delivers an electrifying concert to an audience of 35,000 at the Stade Charles Herman in Nice, France. August 19th. Michael does a concert at the Pontes Olympic Stadium before 45,000 in Lausanne, Switzerland. August 21st. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 43,000 at a concert at the Talavera Mainwiesen in Würzburg, West Germany. August 23rd. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 55,000 at a concert at the Werchter Festival grounds in Werchter, Belgium. August 25th. Catherine Jackson joins Michael in London. August 26th. Michael returns to Madame Tussauds, London for a private visit with his mother, Catherine. August 26th to 27th. On the first evening of his last 2 performances at Wembley Stadium in London, Michael requests the audience to pray for Elizabeth Taylor, who is enduring a severe illness. He dedicates the song, "I Just Can't Stop Loving You," to his dear friend, stating,
Very important message to make. Can I have everybody's attention? Please. A very, very dear friend of mine is very, very sick tonight. And the pain that she is experiencing is unbearable. So I ask that everyone in the stadium tonight just bow their heads for 5 seconds to Elizabeth Taylor, please. Please. Thank you.
Janet and Catherine attended both concerts. August 29th. Michael warmly greets his fans from the balcony of his hotel, showcasing his unique style wrapped in a net curtain. He sends heartfelt messages of affection to the loyal supporters who have gathered to celebrate his birthday. One of his touching messages states, "You guys really show loyalty to me. I would like to look you in the eyes and talk to you, but I am too shy. It sounds silly, but it is true. I love you all very much. I really do." It continues, "Don't believe all the strange stories people make up about me. Sometimes I cry, but it is fans like you that make me fight. I love you." Michael performs to a capacity audience to a concert at Roundhay Park in Leeds, England. Michael turned 30 years old on this day, and after his performance of Heartbreak Hotel, 90,000 voices united to sing "Happy Birthday." His mother and sister, Janet, are in Britain to congratulate him. The concert is a benefit for the British charity Give for Life Foundation. Michael presented a check for $100,000, which contributed towards helping immunize 40,000 children. August 30th. Michael visits Sadler's Wells Theatre in London to attend a performance by Mime Marceau. After the show, he meets the artist backstage and takes photos with both Marceau and Bob Jones. September. Michael is on the covers of Bravo, Another Bravo, Cracked, Jopie, People, and Popcorn magazines. The Flintstone Kids is broadcasted on ABC. This animated series showcases a young Fred, Barney, Wilma, and Betty as they earn extra money to attend a concert to see caveman Michael Jackson. Michael allowed his song Beat It to play on the show, which was rewritten with new lyrics promoting a message for kids to avoid drugs. The special is titled, Just Say No. September 2nd. Michael takes the stage for a concert at Niedersachsen Stadium, entertaining 40,000 fans in Hanover, West Germany. However, because of poor weather, he opts for a ferry ride to Hanover instead of flying. Unaware to the 2,000 holiday travelers celebrating Sedentag, he makes the journey from Dover to Calais aboard P&O's flagship, the Pride of Dover, while staying hidden in a limousine with tinted windows. LaToya Jackson and her manager Jack Gordon attend the show with Catherine and visit Michael at his hotel later. It's the last time Michael and LaToya would see each other until 2002. September 4th. Michael entertains a crowd of 52,000 at the Park Stadium in Gelsenkirchen, West Germany. September 6th. Michael takes the stage to perform for 40,000 fans at Linzer Stadium in Linz, Austria. September 7th. At the 1988 MTV Video Music Awards, both Bad and The Way You Make Me Feel were nominated for Best Choreography, but ultimately lost to his sister Janet for the video, The Pleasure Principle. Nonetheless, Michael was honored with the MTV Video Vanguard Award by Peter Gabriel during a special satellite presentation following his performance of Bad at his concert in Wembley.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I think you have a show to do, so maybe we should get going.
Thank you.
September 8th. Michael was honored with an award for breaking the record for dates by any artist from the director of Wembley Stadium. His 7 sold-out concerts attracted an astounding 504,000 attendees. This achievement also secured him a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. Katherine Jackson was in attendance at the award ceremony. September 10th. Michael performs to a capacity audience of 60,000 at a concert at the Bowl in Milton, Keynes, England. September 11th. Before his concert in Liverpool, England, Michael was honored with a platinum plaque for his Bad album. As fans rush to the front, some unfortunately sustain injuries as they become crushed against the stage. Michael delivered his last European concert to a full crowd of 125,000 at the Aintree Racecourse in Liverpool, England, setting a record for the largest concert audience ever at this racetrack. The Bad World Tour is the longest tour ever undertaken in Britain, singing to over 800,000 fans and earning over £13 million. September 12th. Michael departs from Britain after completing his hugely successful European tour, setting off for the second leg of his American tour. He and Katherine fly back to Los Angeles, heading straight to Michael's newly acquired residence at the Neverland Ranch. Upon their arrival, they are warmly welcomed by the ranch's staff, led by Michael's personal maid, Bianca Francia. Forbes magazine lists Michael Jackson as the #1 highest paid entertainer with 2-year estimated earnings of $97 million. Live LP by Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 is released by Motown Records, but it does not enter the charts. September 19th. MTV presents a Michael Jackson documentary marathon, airing 3 specials called From Motown to Your Town, Another Part of Me, and The Making of Michael Jackson's Thriller. All shown 1 week before the Bad Tour returned for the second leg of the United States. September 21st. Bubbles is a guest on Dick Clark Live, bringing home a note from Michael that reads, "Dear Dick, I am giving Bubbles the night off so he can come play on your show. Sincerely, Michael Jackson." Bubbles performed some of his talents on the show in front of a live studio audience, including the moonwalk. September 22nd. As the Bad World Tour comes to town in Pittsburg, Pennsylvania, hometown of Frank DiLeo, Mayor Sophie Masloff declared it Frank DiLeo Day, where he was celebrated at his Central Catholic High School, and a roast was held in his honor.
What was supposed to be a salute for the Central Catholic graduate quickly turned into a roast.
Frank was known by many names. Frank the Tank, for obvious reasons. Tookie, for not so obvious reasons. Mr. Personality, and a few other choice names which I can't mention here in public.
Even DiLeo's old football coach got into the act after presenting his 4-year varsity guard with a replica of his Viking jersey. Mayor Sophie Masloff made it officially Frank DiLeo Day. Then the Point Breeze boy got his moment in the spotlight.
Never stop dreaming, because dreams do come true. Thank you.
September 26th to 28th. Michael kicks off the second leg of his Bad World Tour in the United States to a capacity audience of 48,694 for 3 sell-out shows at the Civic Arena in Pittsburg, Pennsylvania.